Monday. So today I'm going to chat about something that you probably wouldn't expect for a Monday. Because if you're like me, Monday is the day that you're kind of getting back in, you're looking at planning the rest of your week, seeing what you've all got going on. Maybe for you, it's starting the work week, whether that's outside the home or inside the home, starting the school week, because we are homeschoolers. But this is something that keeps popping up in my life. It's something, a lesson that I've incorporated into all of my programs. We talk about rest in the Faith-Based Financial Freedom Revolution. We talk about rest in my 90-day reset. And then, as you would have it, the sermon I heard yesterday was about the rhythm of rest. So I'm like, all right, Lord, this is something that I need to address in my daily life, because it's something that, um, as I'm learning things and I'm sharing things, it helps me to incorporate and hold me accountable to. And I told my husband yesterday when we were talking about the sermon, I was like, this is something that I was really adamant about at one point, and then over time, kind of fall out of habits. Habits. We talked about habits last week. Not that, and I think in a sense, I still have done it, but not to the degree that I did it before. So we just want to take some time and talk about the power of rest. Real quick before I pop in there, if you're not in my free group, you're invited to come join us. It's Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, a faith-based journey to do more, give more, and serve more. All right, and rest is a key part of all of it. All right, so what do I mean by rest? I'm not talking about rest in the sense of sleep. Yes, we all need sleep. There is tremendous value in sleep. But what I'm talking about here is the rest in where we're at a little bit each day. And even more so than that, the weekly rest, also known as the Sabbath. So one thing that I didn't necessarily know that is in Genesis, when it talks about this, it talks about Shabbat. And Shabbat in Hebrew means to stop. And that is exactly what rest means. So I share and I teach that when we're resting, we need to stop from our daily tasks, from our daily to-do list. It doesn't mean we sit there and do nothing and stare at the wall, but it means that we stop the daily hustle, the daily grind, like I said, the to-do lists, which, we're all guilty of. We all have that list, that never-ending list of things that has to get done. But it's time to stop, remember who created us, what we are created for, connect with our loved ones, and more importantly, connect with the one who created us. And one thing that hit me yesterday when I was sitting there is that when we stop, that it doesn't mean, or when we choose not to work, because that's what we're talking about when we're not working. And then the question comes out, what is work, right? And you can be super, super legalistic on this, and that's not what I want. I just want it to be a mindset shift, and a habit that we create, that we just are more intentional about resting, more intentional about stopping, observing where we're at, connecting with those we love, including our Creator, right? And remember that when we are not working, right, God is still at work in us, because that's what rest is all about. Rest is about allowing Him to do what He has to do in us, because when we're busy and frantic and running from here and there and doing this and doing that, we're not paying attention enough time. We're not sticking or staying still long enough for Him to do a work in us sometimes, right? So we have our daily rest and we have our weekly rest. And this is so important for your health, your physical health, your mental health, your relationship health, your spiritual health. It's all across the border. It's just good for you overall, no matter what your goals in life. Far too many times people think, well, if I just keep going, if I do that extra thing, or I can't stop, or people are afraid that if they stop, things will fall apart around them, or if they stop, they're not gonna hit their goals, or if they stop, they're gonna fall behind in whatever they have to do. But this is where it becomes an act of faith. Rest is an act of faith. It's saying, okay, Lord, I'm going to stop because you ordained a Sabbath of His day to stop. You said that we need to have those moments to stop and rest. And I'm going to trust in you that I obey this, that everything's going to be okay. That, the bills are going to get paid, that my family's going to get fed, that, we're going to do, we're going to be able to accomplish whatever it is that we have to accomplish, right? because the Sabbath is woven into the fabric of our creation. It's part of who we are. It's part of how God designed us. And when we go against that, it's going against who we're created to be. And I'm all about becoming who we are created to be. I'm all about doing more, giving more, and serving more, but from a place of rest, right? We can't give and serve the way we're supposed to if we're not resting in the Lord, if we're not taking that time out for ourselves, right? So rest is anti-hustle. Rest is anti-multitasking, right? These are all things we hear in our culture. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Learning to balance. And actually, science, I don't know when I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I don't know when the multitasking concept became so popular. But science has actually proven now that it's actually counterproductive. Our brains say to us, or we think our world, our environment says to us, okay, if I can do this and this at the same time, I'm going to get more done, right? But actually, science is showing that you're not more productive. You're actually less productive because your brain is torn. Our brains are designed to focus on one thing at a time, right? So, and I've seen this in my own days where I'm, working on a project or helping the kids with something, that if I give my full attention to one thing, that one thing gets done really well. And then I can get done a lot quicker. I talk about this in my video on time blocking. When I set my timer for 15 minutes, okay, for the next 15 minutes, I'm shutting everything else out and I'm focusing on this one task and giving my all. And you will be surprised what you can accomplish in those 15 minutes. Okay. So I digress. Good morning. I'm guessing that's you, Pam, because you always pop up as a Facebook user. But I got off topic there. But we're talking about rest. And just take the time each day to have a moment of quiet, a moment of time to connect with your Lord. I use it as a journaling time oftentimes. I pray, I read my scripture, I journal. That's my daily rest. But then we have our weekly rest. So I encourage you to dive in to that habit of weekly rest and trust, stepping in that act of faith and seeing how that affects your world. Seeing if that doesn't mean you get the same amount or if not even more accomplished in your week by taking that time to just rest and regenerate yourself, connecting with the Lord and becoming who he created you to do. Because again, that Sabbath, that Sabbath is in our design. It's who we are created to be. All right, guys. Be sure to pop in my group, Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. Connect with me there, and I will see you guys